Hey, this is Peter with Video Game Hour Live, and I'm with Andrej from Exordium Games, and I checked out Last Encounter. Do you just want to tell a little bit about that game?
Yeah, Last Encounter is a twin-stick action roguelike set in space. So from the twin-stick shooters that you would know, this is not confined into dungeons, but it's an open space. And another neat thing that we have is a kind of a component-based weapon system. So we don't have predefined weapons, but you can pick up components and then arrange them any way you want. It's 1 to 4 player local co-op, and it's coming hopefully in the second quarter to Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, so it's a roguelike, which is personally one of my favorite genres, and I'm just wondering, like, how do you balance a roguelike game? Like, how do you balance the difficulty and then making sure it's not too easy if you get like all the perfect kind of combination of things? Just what's a good way about balancing a roguelike game?
Well, for us internally in the studio, we just do a lot of playtesting. So whatever we add new, be it a new galaxy or a new weapon component, a new ship, we just have to try a lot of combinations. But at the same time, we want to kind of test it with the community, with the core players. So we'll be soon opening up beta signups and we'll be doing beta testing over Steam. So anybody who want to kind of try the game, have an early access, they'll be able to visit our website, www.lastencounter.com, sign up and help us kind of balance it. Because it depends on how you got 1 player setup, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. Then you got the randomness of the galaxies. You got different weapon components. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of randomness going on.
Yeah. So speaking with the 1 versus like 4 players, like what's the biggest difference with that, other than I guess like the amount of enemies, or like what would you say the biggest gameplay difference is with 1 player versus co-op?
I think it's mostly the engagement. So I would say it's equally difficult. We try to balance it no matter the number of players. Well, when you play by yourself, it's more like kind of you only have to worry about yourself. People would expect in 4 player that it's simply easier, but there's so much going on screen when it's 4 players that it might even be a little bit more difficult. So it's kind of, I mean, it's the same gameplay, but it's a little different effect on the players when they play together.
Awesome. So you described it kind of like a dungeon crawler without the dungeon. It's more like in galaxies. Can you talk a little bit about those galaxies and how they function in the game?
Well, we have 7 galaxies. Every galaxy is different in sort of the art palette that we use, or the color palette. Each galaxy has their own enemies, their own or their own environment hazards. So you will not see the same behavior throughout 2 galaxies. We try to make them really be like a new alien species living there with different characteristics. Then the galaxies are made up of random sectors, and the sectors have little situations that you have to clear. So there's a lot of stuff that we pre-designed, like little situations, but then they're put together randomly in sectors. You have to find keys in the sectors to unlock new gates to reach new galaxies.
Awesome. And talking about pre-designed stuff, I noticed there's like different pilots and different ships you can use. Can you talk a little bit about those? Because I know that even adds more variables to the equation. So
yeah, the progression in the game, as usually in roguelikes, is you're expected to die. Yeah. So you unlock stronger stuff as you go through. And we have pilot unlocking, we have ship unlocking, and we have the weapon components. So those are all stuff that you can find throughout gameplay. And some of them you get to keep. So when you die and you want to start out again, the starting kind of things that you have available are getting better and better. Yeah. So after a couple hours of playing, your ship already at the loadout will be a much stronger and have a better weapon than when you started out.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm interested in. So in roguelites, it's always different how like the permanent progression works. So like that's exactly how the permanent progression works with the pilots and all the different components like that. I also noticed there's a currency, so there's like a store in that. Can you just explain a little bit how that works?
Well, the mechanic of finding alien components, weapon components, is that they're kind of alien technology. So you don't have the knowledge yet to keep the energy stable. So you either have to find a couple of those components for them to be available for you permanently, or you can spend some of the cash that you found, some of the credits, to kind of unlock it faster. The thing here in co-op is that if a pilot dies, he loses proportionally the amount of the resources that you all gathered together, because all of the pool of resources is shared between all of the players.
So yeah, this game is really fun to play. So what platforms can we look forward to it on, and when is it going to be released?
We plan the launch for the second quarter of this year. First, it's going to come to Steam for PC, probably Mac and Linux, and then hopefully soon after that to PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch.
All right, thank you so much, Andrej.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And back to the show.